Hello there, kanokarob here. Today I wanted to do another different style of video as I ease my way back into content creation after a brief hiatus. As continued acknowledgement and celebration of 1,000 YouTube subscribers, 40,000 downloads of New in Town, and the ever-growing community around me and the project, I opened up a Discord channel for members of the community to ask me questions to be answered in a future AMA video. This video. I'm going to be keeping that AMA channel open in the Discord for future videos, either for doing full AMA style videos like this one, or answering one or two at a time in other general videos, depending on the volume of questions that I get. So if you have any burning questions about myself, or about New in Town's past, present, or future, please join me and the community in the official New in Town Discord, and remember to subscribe as well as like and share this video. Link to the Discord is in the description below. The footage in the background is just going to be some simple gameplay of me playing New in Town in the latest 1.18 Experimental 3 snapshot, which has some really cool features. You'll see we'll be setting up in a pretty nice, interesting area with some nice caves and stuff going on, so just something to have on in the background. But with all that said, we will go ahead and get into the questions. This first question comes from Discord user SCP-999, who has tagged themselves as a wiki person, so they're attempting to contribute to the New in Town wiki, which I greatly appreciate, because it's definitely something that I have been meaning to do more of myself. Anyway, their question is, what inspired you to start making data packs? And the answer is fairly simple and also somewhat complex. I started making data packs in that I started making New in Town back in 1.12 when functions were just released, but data packs weren't even called data packs. They didn't have a name, and they didn't have any way to really be easily distributed. You had to drag them into the world's data folder. There wasn't a data packs folder or anything like that, and we didn't have access to nearly half the things that we do now. Not to mention it was a completely different command structure back then. And I started doing that because I'd been messing around a little bit with command block creations. At the time, I suspect a big reason functions entered the game was just because the popularity exploded of these one command block creations at the time. People writing these amazingly complex and very long commands that you could put in one command block, and what it ended up doing was just create a whole structure of command blocks using falling sand entities that all had entity data, so when they landed they were actually command blocks that had commands that would run and work like a giant chain of command blocks that were sit in a box, and they would run all the things. But the draw of it was you just need one command block and the very long single command just copy pasted into it to get started. So I imagine that's a big reason why Mojang implemented functions to begin with, is to expand on that concept for creators so that we could create more interesting, unique things and more complex things. And of course, it wasn't long after that that data packs really exploded with more capabilities and got their name of data packs. But unfortunately, I had been working on New in Town during that period of time when they weren't called data packs, when it was just function files that you could put into the world's data folder. And I did so because I had been, I played a lot of mods that had town building concepts. I played Millionaire a good chunk, and I was really impressed with Tale of Kingdoms and the story that it told. But I was disappointed in both of those mods in the lack of modularity as I saw it, in how much control you had over the layout of your town and the functionality of your town. So I set out to create my own version, basically. A New in Town became that, a way to start a town very early in the game that could follow along with you as you progressed, that didn't necessarily determine how you progressed and more rewarded you for progressing through Minecraft normally, but allowed you to establish and set up your town and build new buildings in whatever order you wanted based on the materials that you had on hand, based on the degree that you wanted to build up your normal resources in a normal Minecraft gameplay. Because I felt that was something that hadn't really been done before. It was a niche that wasn't filled, and it was something that, it was the way that I wanted to play New in Town. Unfortunately, it was shortly after this with 1.13 that the command syntax totally changed and got more powerful, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't keep up with it during the snapshots. So it unfortunately around that time is when I stopped development on New in Town, and it wasn't until 1.16 was announced or shortly thereafter that I really started even getting back into Minecraft. And indeed, when I did that, and I got very bored very quickly without, my old data pack that mostly I played for myself. It was available. I put it on the Minecraft forums and stuff. But it wasn't super popular because it had very little. It was only the town, or only about a dozen structures. But I missed it, and that's how I wanted to play the game, especially as we got into snapshots for 1.16 for the Nether update started coming out. I saw all these cool features, and I always knew that I was going to add more Nether content to New in Town and eventually end content. So this was the best time to do that. So I learned the new commands, learned all the new things that data packs were capable of doing, and how to do them well, how to really get started and create something that could be easily distributed. And that was fun for me to play, and that was going to be easy to market to other people. So that's kind of what New in Town became. So the only other data pack that I really have, I've got the New in Town Dimensions, of course, but the only other data pack I really have is the Wandering Trader data pack, which I think I literally challenged myself to make in an hour because I thought of the pun and I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a good pun. I could make that in an hour. I can do that. So New in Town is the data pack that I have. I've made a few other data packs certainly for myself, and I've done a few commissions for sure. But I got into data packs, not because I got into data packs, but because I got into New in Town. Discord user BroOMG asks, did New in Town development go as you imagined? And I would say, for the most part, yes. I didn't necessarily have everything planned out. Certainly when I started, I didn't think that I was going to have railways. I didn't think I was going to have ramps. But in general, in broad strokes, in terms of what I wanted to work on in each step of the way, I would say yes. It started out just as settlement. That was the first version. But like I said earlier, I always planned on having another aspect to it. It was always going to be called counteroffensive. It was always going to be chasing the tyrant back into the Nether and starting your own Nether fortress to fight back against him. And there was always going to be an end aspect to it where you were always going to have to, it was always going to be called refugee, and you were going to have to protect the Endermen from the tyrant. So I would say in general, every step has been as expected, even if not every individual structure, every individual mechanic was planned from the beginning. The cycle of development went largely as I imagined. I would say the degree to which I have worked on the development, the speed of which was unplanned, because the popularity was unplanned. And I contribute a lot of that, or I think a major contributing factor to New in Town's popularity. There's many, of course. It's not just one thing, but I think it really helped that I launched the initial version with just New in Town Kingdoms and counteroffensive, just the town and Nether Fortress, on the day that 1.16 released. That was always my goal, is to get everything done with those two parts at the very least, make it fully playable and enjoyable for 1.16, because I knew that was the reason I was getting back into Minecraft, and I knew that was the reason many other people were going to be getting back into Minecraft. And at the same time, I knew that data packs, were growing in popularity. People knew about them. They would go to Planet Minecraft for them. So people were going to be looking for new data packs to play with the new version of Minecraft. And so I think that helped a lot with getting New in Town off the ground from the beginning. I think we had several hundred downloads in the first, few hours. I was, checking notifications and answering comments within a couple of hours of launching. I remember I was at work at the time and, kept checking like, oh my gosh, things are blowing up. I need to keep an eye on this, getting messages and things about how things work and things like that. So the speed at which that I've had to keep up with the community growing around New in Town, that was definitely unplanned, and very much appreciated. Just a Sheep asks, what is your favorite thing about making New in Town? And I think it is the community. It's a little bit cheesy, a little bit cliche, but there are so many things about New in Town that I've only added because of the community. Whether it's actually community suggestions or ideas that have come to mind in the interest of making the community excited, things that I came up with individually, but I thought of because I thought or knew that it was going to excite players in the community, in the Discord. I thought it was going to market really well on Planet Minecraft with the update log. So it's always been coming up with new things, because it comes so naturally when you have so many voices wanting to be heard and so many people announcing how happy they are with the direction that New in Town is going. So I just love adding new things, and I love seeing people be happy about it. Discord user Omer asks, how long do you plan to support New in Town? And I would say as long as people would like it to be supported. There are certainly other projects that I want to work on after Dimensions is completed, but I'm always going to make sure at the very least that both New in Town and New in Town Dimensions are up to date with the latest Minecraft version, and there will almost certainly always be new structures being added, new mechanics being added based on the new features that are added to Minecraft. Of course, most of 1.18 features are going to be incorporated into new Dimensions content, or expanding upon the existing Dimensions content, rather than going straight into the base New in Town. It might inform some parts of the base New in Town in terms of new structures added or balances to existing structures. But for the most part, most of 1.18 will inform Dimensions content and the direction that pack goes. But there's we already know archaeology is going to be coming probably in 1.19, I certainly hope. And that'll probably play a big role in New in Town. There'll at least be, I imagine, one more structure that rewards archaeology to some extent. Whether it's in base New in Town or in New in Town excavators, it's not entirely clear at this time. Of course, we don't know really a whole lot about it, just what was at Minecon. Yeah, I think as long as there are people that would like new features to be added to New in Town, there will always be at least updates to keep up with the game, with Minecraft, if not more structures. But of course, eventually other projects are going to take the priority in terms of significant development time. The King of Games 12 asks, if given the ability, would you support New in Town on spigot or paper? And this is a difficult question to answer. So the reason that spigot and paper, that New in Town doesn't work on spigot and paper, is because those server developers, those server APIs, don't support data packs. It's not that I don't support spigot and paper, it's that spigot and paper were developed before data packs existed, before 1.12. They've always been a pillar of the multiplayer aspect of Minecraft. So in not having data packs to inform what changes they make to Minecraft's code, they are modded servers. They allow for plugins and things like that. And the changes that they've made to vanilla Minecraft cause vanilla Minecraft to behave differently. It's not vanilla anymore. And data packs, by their very nature, are vanilla. They make use of vanilla features and rely on vanilla working as it is expected to. Specifically when it comes to commands, especially scoreboards and advancements, I've found are the major things that kind of need to stay the same. And both spigot and paper change the way that those work. In unexpected or expected ways. I'm sure they have the reasons. Their goal is to optimize multiplayer Minecraft as much as they can, which I understand and respect. But the changes that they've made cause data packs, most large data packs or sophisticated ones, to not work on them. And they don't really have any interest in changing that, because it would involve changing the way that their server APIs work, and that would cause a whole backlash, I'm sure. I wish that they were a little friendlier to data pack developers, but I understand there's not a whole lot they can do at this stage in the game. It's just they've changed so much of vanilla Minecraft to make it run well in multiplayer that data packs don't have the same foundations to build on. So the question then this particular question then begs the question, if I could find a workaround to make New in Town work in Spigot and Paper, would I? If I could do so without scoreboards, and have it be able to still work consistently and perform optimally, would I do that? And I think probably not. Mostly because I've always been against maintaining two versions of New in Town. I did it a little bit with Dimensions. I had the public-facing one, and then I have the beta version for beta testers to test in the Discord. And it's a pain, It's not very fun. I frequently get confused and put the wrong files in the wrong places, or go back in terms of things that have been fixed, and I break them again in the same way because I get the files mixed up. Because it happens when you're working on two things concurrently. So I think that would happen more with the base New in Town if I had to maintain a version for vanilla Minecraft and for Spigot and Paper. So I don't think that is really on the horizon. I've done everything that I can do to make New in Town run consistently. There's always more optimizations I can make, more improvements I can make to make it run smoothly. But in terms of the gameplay, in terms of making it just work, I've done what I can, and Spigot and Paper just don't have the same goals that New in Town or that data packs have. So I don't really know there's a whole lot else that I can do about that. Discord user SpyTech asks, do you have any other data packs you would like to make? And I alluded to this earlier, I definitely do. There's a lot of projects that I have in mind. One in particular, one really big one that I really want to work on, and I won't speak too much to it now, in part because I don't even know when I'll be able to start development on it. But I have one in particular that I'm really excited to work on. The idea is that it would totally change. It would be a different experience of Minecraft entirely. New in Town is designed to fit seamlessly to some extent with normal Minecraft gameplay. It doesn't detract from your normal progression. It just gives you more rewards and more things to do as you play Minecraft normally. Whereas the next project that I really want to work on would change progression entirely. It would change almost everything about what a normal survival experience in Minecraft is like. And that's very ambitious, which is part of why I haven't started it yet, and why I don't want to talk too much about it before I do. Not for any secrecy reasons necessarily, but because I don't know when I'll be able to get started on it. But that's the next big thing that I really want to work on. And I'm certain I won't start on it until after Dimensions is completed, until after the Tempest is finished. And probably after 1.18, because updating all the dimensions to the new 1.18 world generation is going to, be an involved process that I'm excited for, but it's going to mean, I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot else while I do that. The nice thing is that there's going to be some world gen involved in that next project that I want to work on, so the skills that I learn about the new way to do world gen post 1.18 by updating dimensions will come in a lot handy then. Tax parentheses dream. I'm not really sure why they have that. This is not Dream. This is just a Discord user named Tax, otherwise called Tax Gatherer, I think. They asked the question, will you do other things than Minecraft? And I would say probably, it certainly depends on what the community would like me to do, what my viewers are most interested in. I've thought about occasionally doing streams where we just kind of chill, simple chill session while I play games that are not Minecraft that I really enjoy. Short, basic games that I've played before that I'll replay, and just have fun with and just hang out with the viewers. So if that's something you're interested in, for sure let me know in the comments, and I can make that happen sooner than later. But that's probably what I would be doing is playing short indie games or things like that, and just kind of hanging out on stream. I don't know that I would ever go into a full let's play or anything of a really serious game, like as cool as it would be to play Skyrim on YouTube. I don't know that that's necessarily what this channel is, but of course I'm not against pivoting if that's what people would like more. So we'll see where things take us, where the algorithm takes us. But at this stage I have thoughts in mind of doing just streams of shorter games that I really enjoy. But beyond that, it's probably going to be mostly Minecraft content. And for our last question for this video, user SpyTech has a second question for me. This is just a fun one to kind of end on. What is your favorite structure in Newentown? And this is a hard question to answer, of course, being the builder of all of the structures in Newentown. I certainly have an attachment to all of them. So I will give my initial answer, and then some runner-ups, we'll say. So I think off the top of my head, if you ask me what my favorite structure in Newentown is, the first thing that comes to mind is the homestead. I'm really proud of how the homestead turned out, and I really like the manner in which it came about, because originally there wasn't any kind of home structure in Newentown. With the castle, there's the bedroom structure, and it was always intended that that was kind of going to be your late game home. But I'd always expected players to want to build their house either on an empty plot in the town, build their own home, or build their own home outside of town, and kind of migrate back and forth. That's what I did in the early days back in 1.12 when I played with Newentown for testing and for fun. I would, have my own house separate from the town, and then I would migrate to the town every day, commute in, and bring my resources with me to build it up and establish it. But beta testers, early beta testers specifically, my partner who lives with me, suggested that there be a house structure, that they didn't like living out of the wagon. I was like, I never really considered that. I don't normally live out of the wagon myself. I normally build a house separately after a little while. But I can see why someone might want a home structure that they can build in the same manner and style of Newentown. So I built the homestead, and I think it turned out really nice with the log cabin type feel. I like the carpet. It's honestly my favorite interior design in all of Newentown. And I'm very happy with how I handled the exterior design as well. So first answer is the homestead. In terms of function, in terms of, practicality, when I played Newentown, I think probably my favorite structure is the wizard tower, only because I feel like it's probably one of the most important when you're playing, because if you don't have enchanted gear when the tyrant appears, it's significantly more challenging, for sure. So being able to build a wizard tower, this awesome tower you have to climb these stairs above a lava pool up to a full enchantment setup that is heavily discounted. You need the same number of diamonds, but you need less obsidian and you need less bookshelves. So all the main expense is stone. The main expense that you're paying that you wouldn't normally for a full enchantment setup is stone, and you're getting a discount on everything else. So I feel like the wizard tower is my favorite in terms of practicality when I'm playing Newentown, because it's so important. You have to get it as your 8th or 9th structure. I feel like, certainly me, I'm not bad at the game, but I'm not amazing at the game, certainly not at PvE. So having the access to the enchanted gear so early, and at such good cost is really important to me when I am going up against the tyrant. So I would say that's probably my favorite structure. And that about wraps us up here. I hope you've enjoyed this AMA style video. If you're interested in seeing more of these down the line, I won't do them obviously super often, but if you have questions that you'd like to see in the next one, or just answered randomly at the ends of other videos in the future, like I said, that channel is going to remain open in the Discord, which you can find a link to down below. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like and share with your friends, as well as to subscribe to keep an eye on when new videos come out. There will be some more new content coming out, like I alluded to in the last video. I'll be doing not necessarily reviews, but videos about other data packs that pair very well with Newentown, such as Terralith and Floorcraft. I'll probably be doing some speed running of Newentown at some point down the line. So there will be more content coming. There will be all kinds of new content, old content. So definitely lots of reasons to stick around. I hope that the Newentown community continues to grow, and if you're not already a part of it, now is a great time to jump in. I want to thank you all again for 1,000 subscribers as well as 40,000 downloads of New in Town, and I can only see those numbers going up. So thank you all again so much. I will see you guys next time.